If one day, by some absurd twist of fate, the perfect girl shows up in your classroom, but with a twist straight out of a horror novel, she's possessed by a ghost only you can see, would you still try to approach her? For me, it's a resounding heck yes. I mean, come on. The only thing more thrilling than a crazy girl with green hair and magic power that could split you in two any moment is a cute girl possessed by a ghost. It's like hitting the jackpot in the red flag lottery. The story begins inside the classroom, where Tanioka is talking to Nozomi as he is excited about finding out what the transfer student would be like, hoping she's going to be extremely cute. However, Nozomi is not that interested. For him, it doesn't matter what kind of person she is. She has nothing to do with him. And now, as the teacher starts preparing the class for the new student who will join them, the uninterested boy's attention is caught by her beauty. But not even a moment later, something else that came along with the girl surprised him. As Kyoko is presenting herself in front of the class with a smile on her face, something that does not seem friendly at all stands behind her while holding her shoulder. As Nozomi keeps on wondering what is going on and what that thing is near the girl, the teacher instructs Kyoko to take the empty seat in the back. It turns out she is going to sit next to Nozomi, but the boy's expression makes Tanioka believe he is not happy about it, and the girl is not his type. When Kyoko approached the two and expressed her pleasure in meeting them, despite her cute smile, Nozomi was not able to say anything because of the thing that stayed behind her. Even as she goes and sits in her place, the boy keeps on looking at her, wondering if nobody is able to see that thing, and believes he might go insane. But as the girl notices him, she wonders if something is wrong. Nozomi asks her if there is anything she is having trouble with, but Kyoko suggests everything is okay. With that being said, is she able to see that thing, or is she pretending not to see it? However, a moment later, as this thing was having some fun, it became pretty obvious that the girl was not able to see it. Is that thing a ghost? Or maybe a hallucination? For now, it doesn't matter because Nozomi's eyes meet hers, making that thing stare intensely at him. Maybe if he remains indifferent, she will think no one can see her. And as the boy tries to focus on the class and stop looking at it anymore, that thing jumps right in front of him, but it's not enough to obtain a proper reaction from Nozomi. When returning to Kyoko, the boy gets a little relieved, suggesting he won't ever look at it again. But when hearing some noise from the girl's seat, he becomes really curious, and a scene that makes my heart pound faster and faster is happening in front of his eyes as the ghost keeps massaging the girl. This was a trick made by the ghost, who now caught the boy peeping while in the act. And when asking once again if she is okay since she is not looking too good, Kyoko expresses gratitude since she started feeling a little bit lighter after he expressed his concern. As a result of him being too nice, the ghost changed her plaything and moved behind Nozomi, making him drool and sweat. Later that day, after the classes have finished, Nozomi looks through the window at Kyoko, who is leaving, and ponders how he was afraid that the ghost would possess him for a long time, but he managed to get her away from him. And now, as he wants to get ready to leave and thinks that he should stay away from Kyoko as much as possible, he observes the girl sitting in front of the school. This makes him believe she is waiting for someone. The moment she had seen him, Kyoko approached him, asking for a moment, making Nozomi believe nothing good would come out of this. But seeing that the ghost is not around, he stays and listens to the girl who is thanking him for what happened this morning. He called her up when she was sick in class, and even though he believes that is not a big deal for him, Kyoko is really grateful. She just moved here, and because of that, she was still on edge, and his approach made her feel better. Kyoko believes she was feeling really nervous, and that made her feel sick, but unfortunately for her, it's not that. It's more the act of a spirit. However, as she introduces herself again and asks for his name, the girl expresses her desire for the two of them to become friends. Hearing that, Nozomi keeps wondering why she is doing that, because the two of them are sitting next to each other. And while not being able to say anything, Kyoko wonders if that is a yes, but when the boy tries to deny it, her cute face hypnotizes him, making Nozomi agree. But without Kyoko's knowledge, there was another person there who took part in the friendship handshake and now glances at Nozomi with a huge smile on her face, thinking about the nasty things they would do in the future. As the next day has come, while Kyoko is reading something at the teacher's request, Nozomi ponders how the two of them became friends and how she is a cute, smart girl who is friendly to everyone in the class. He believes she resembles an angel, but there is a little something that bothers him. When the lunch break has come and Nozomi is invited to eat together with his friend, looking at Kyoko, Tanioka invites her to join them, especially upon hearing that she has brought her own lunch. Moreover, it looks like the girl desires to eat in a quieter place, and by the look of it, she just tries to turn him down. But the boy is not taking the hints and suggests they should go to the rooftop since it's open to everyone. It turns out Tanioka did not go to the Riz school because, when seeing the girl's bento, he starts asking if she is going to eat all that, prompting the girl to say that she is a hearty eater. Now, while Nozomi keeps on looking at Kyoko take food with her chopsticks and introduce it into her mouth, his mind goes blank, but shortly, he is brought back to Earth when that ghost shows up sucking all those nutrients from the girl. It turns out the girl is eating like a champ because of that thing, and despite eating lots of food, she does not have any problems with her body, nor does she get extremely fat. It is only embarrassing. Looking at that ghost doing what she is doing, Nozomi cannot stand in place, suggests there is a bee above Kyoko's hand, and tries to push off the ghost. As he succeeds, the ghost leaves the girl, showing off an infuriated face. But nobody besides Nozomi can see that, and in the next second, Ghosty approaches the boy, measuring his head. With this being done, Kyoko's hunger went away, surprising her and prompting Tanioka to say that it's not good to eat alone. And the fact they all eat together filled her hunger faster. Now, the girl has lots of leftovers, but the problem arises when the ghost is about to place a needle and start sucking nutrients from Nozomi. However, both Ghosty and the boy are surprised when Kyoko is about to mouth-feed Nozomi, but the boy is a little shy and does not know how to respond until he sees Ghosty encouraging him from behind. As he was about to accept her offering and take that omelet, his friend jumped in, taking that food right from Nozomi's nose. Upon seeing that, Ghosty makes a face that makes me believe Tanioka is going to suffer. But before that happened, Kyoko took another slice and fed Nozomi, waiting for a response from him regarding the food. Hearing his pleased words, a smile rises on her face, while Nozomi is all flustered looking at her and starts thinking about how he never thought a day when he could have lunch with such a cute girl would come. Yet, there seems to be someone who is happier to be here. Kyoko believes it's too embarrassing to eat with a bunch of people, wonders if she's going to eat all alone until graduation, and is extremely happy that she managed to eat with her new friend so soon after she got transferred. Hearing that, Nozomi feels the desire to ask Kyoko to join him for lunch again, making her eyes light up with happiness, and she agrees to do so. Meanwhile, Tanioka is being sucked into nutrients by the love-seeking ghost, making the boy start eating all that is thrown at him. Nozomi enjoys visiting the library after school. There is no one in the room except the librarian. Even though you can hear the shouts of the athletic club coming from the ground, there is music coming from the music club, which is very comfortable to hear. No one is going to disturb him in his little kingdom. At least that is what he believes until, from beneath the desk, a face filled with thirst looks him straight in the eyes, causing the boy to make a sudden move and fall to the ground. Wondering why it's here, Kyoko comes from behind, suggesting she was looking for him. As they engage in conversation, Nozomi suggests that he had a feeling she was about to come and asks about her reason for being here. She found out she was just looking around, but on this occasion, she would like to join him. While looking at her, Nozomi thinks she is so beautiful and that she is at his favorite place. And while he is not able to take his eyes off her, Kyoko says that this place is so nice and quiet, and because of that, she is going to visit it more often from now on. Thinking about it, until now, he was alone in this peaceful place. But now with Kyoko's arrival, he has become very nervous and empty-minded. It's just the two of them in this big room. Or maybe not. There is a third person hanging from the ceiling, and if we count the librarian, there are 4 people. But anyway, as the ghost keeps on messing around, he decides to just ignore it and focus on studying. But after a while, when everything calmed down, his phone rang, scaring him since it doesn't ring very often. And when looking at the screen, the message, "Say something," is shown. By the look of it, it's the ghost. While not being able to do or say anything, something else pops up on his phone that makes him scream, prompting Kyoko to believe something is wrong and suggest leaving, but he brushes it off, suggesting it's a text from his sister. Meanwhile, the ghost is having fun messing up and seeing the boy's reaction. Hearing that, Kyoko believes Nozomi and his sister are close, but the words that came from his mouth make me believe it's quite the opposite. As the mood had become rather uncomfortable, Kyoko asked if he was on Pine, and when she heard he was, she asked to exchange Pine IDs. While the girl believes this is really exciting, Nozomi feels like an idiot for some reason, and as he is about to place his phone back in the bag, another photo pops up showing Kyoko's endowed body. Sometime later, as he sits inside his room, Nozomi starts thinking about how he managed to exchange contact information with Kyoko and wonders if he should send her a message or something. The only problem is that he does not have anything to tell her. As he musters courage and sends her the message, she quickly replies, but it turns out he as well did not graduate from the prestigious Riz school because his responses are so boring. Not even a hint of wit to rescue him from the depths of dullness. Fortunately for him, Kyoko is interested enough to continue the conversation herself and asks him to show her a good bookstore where she could buy reference books after school. While thinking about why it would be better if he showed her where the bookstore was, he simply replied, "Okay." The next day after school, the two of them met and are now heading towards the bookstore. Despite the thoughts he had the night before, believing this would be like a date, now they are just going to the nearest bookstore. There is nothing special about it. As the two of them arrive there, it looks like the ghost left Kyoko, and by the look of it, the girl instantly starts feeling better, making her believe the reason behind that is the impact of being around a bookstore. While inside, Kyoko suggests she wants to look around before taking the reference book. This is not a problem, but what makes Nozomi worried is the ghost that walks around doing who knows what. While looking around, the boy comes across this shady-looking book named Rites of Exorcism. Even though he is not sure about it, it might be useful. When Kyoko observes him taking an interest in that book, she approaches him, curious if he is into that kind of book, but he quickly brushes it off, suggesting it is for his sister. As they arrive at the reference book section, since there are so many books, Kyoko wonders which one Nozomi is using. But as he is about to say, a loud noise scares him, which seems that nobody else could have heard. Thinking about it, only one thing could be making noise and being heard by him. A moment later, after he excuses himself and goes towards the toilet, the ghost sitting down and reading some books attracts his attention. And now, when he moves closer, curious about what she could be reading, he sees that the book is a manga that most probably is a shoujo where a girl is confessing her love to somebody. And when the boy has replied to her feelings, the ghost jumps around in excitement. When Nozomi returns from his bathroom break, he catches a guy red-handed who tries to snatch some inappropriate photos of Kyoko. As he keeps wondering what he should do in this situation, he believes he must catch him, but he is way too scared about it. And as the man, realizing someone has seen him, is about to flee, Nozomi summons a small dose of courage within himself and confronts him about taking those indecent photos. Hearing that, the person denies it, suggesting he does not have any idea what Nozomi is talking about and that he did not take any photos. As he is about to leave, the boy grabs his hand, only to be pushed away like a small fry, and the man leaves the place as quickly as possible without looking back. However, despite his lack of power and being unable to protect her, Kyoko suggests she is fine. Him trying to confront that guy was enough. Thank God it was not something more serious. Anyway, now as that weird individual stands inside a public bathroom, he ponders how he is not going to be able to go back to that place and blames Nozomi for what happened. And as a way to comfort himself after that, he decides to look through the photos he just took. But out of nowhere, the lights start acting weird, and on the phone, the message, "Where are you?" shows up. As the situation becomes more and more dark, he starts getting scared and hears something coming closer and closer until loud noises come from beneath the door. making him scream. And as everything seemed to calm down, another message popped up on his phone. "I found you." From behind him, a hand touches his shoulder, taking him into the darkness. On Kyoko and Nozomi's side, it turns out some cops came to see them, and after looking through the security cameras, they'd seen the culprit in action and decided to look for him. With all this happening, Kyoko apologizes for mixing Nozomi in some weird stuff, but everything is alright since it's all that man's fault. With that being said, she is glad Nozomi was around. And now, as they walk towards their home, the ghost appears right in front of Nozomi, scaring him to the point of wetting his pants. But that is not enough to stop him from confronting her about what she was doing while they were in that dangerous situation. However, a moment later, Nozomi receives a message on his phone. A photo of that weird guy who took the photos sitting in the bathroom as someone just kicked the hell out of him. As he looks at that photo, the ghost decides it's time for him to take his nutrients and jumps on the girl's head, sucking as much as he can, making Kyoko starve. With this opportunity, even a guy like him manages to gather some courage and asks the girl to go and eat something before they go home. And without any surprise, she agrees, her cheeks all red and her eyes filled with hope. Looking at her, even this dense boy realizes that she looks cheerful and believes she must be really happy. Moreover, he is happy to see that smile on her face. If you were wondering, that weird guy was caught by the cops while unconscious in the bathroom. Even though the reason why he was knocked unconscious is unknown, they had lots of evidence on his phone of him being caught red-handed. Moving on from that, while the three friends are having lunch on the rooftop, Nozomi looks at Kyoko's face and believes it is dejected, most probably because of that incident. Even in the library, she seems to be distracted from her studies. Even as Nozomi asks if she is feeling okay, the girl suggests she is fine. Yet, she does not look okay at all, but in a situation like this, it's better to leave it alone. However, now the girl is about to ask him something, and after she took out the stuffed animal Nozomi had in his bag, she asked if that was his belonging. It turns out she found it at the bookstore the other day, and believes it might have fallen out when he got pushed away. As he took it back, he believes it is embarrassing to let the others know that he makes his own knitted stuffed animals, but when hearing Kyoko say that it is cute and ask if it is hand-knit, he suggests it is his sister who gave it to him. All that is because he is ashamed to say it was made by himself. And as he thought this was going to be just another, "You're really close to your sister," Kyoko's words are slightly different, and the expression on her face puts a lot of pressure on Nozomi. When asked why she would ask that, Kyoko replies that making a handmade stuffed animal is a little unusual. Hearing that makes Nozomi worried that she may suspect he is the one who made it. However, both Kyoko and the ghost seem to be aware of his lie, which puts him under a lot of stress. In this situation, he starts wondering if he should tell the truth. And as he remembers how she confessed how she feels embarrassed while eating food with a bunch of people, he decides it's time to reveal the truth and tells her that the stuffed animal was not a gift from his sister. Hearing that, she is rather puzzled, but after hearing he feels embarrassed to tell her the truth, she suggests that is normal and he shouldn't be ashamed of it. Since they are in high school, it is normal to receive a present from a girl. Hearing that, Nozomi is a little confused. He says that this was not a gift, confusing the girl as well. He reveals that he is the one who made it, creating a moment of silence, after which both the girl and the ghost are surprised by what they've just heard and express that it is amazing. Kyoko does not believe this is weird at all. On the contrary, she finds it really amazing that he can make such beautiful stuffed animals. And as the girl ends up saying she suspected it was made by a girl, Nozomi tells her he does not have a girlfriend, making the girl yell out loud that this is not what she asked. But after hearing the annoyed librarian tell them once again to stay quiet, she apologizes to Nozomi, suggesting that she needs to be more discerning. And as the two of them end up in this moment where both of them are blushing, a loud Tanioka is looking for Nozomi, making the ghost prepare herself for another attack. It turns out he needs some help with a print, annoying the ghost and the girl who had an enjoyable moment. And as it could not be helped, both Nozomi and Kyoko started tutoring him for the assignment that was about to come. But the most important thing right now for Nozomi seems to be Kyoko's smile, which he is happy to see return. Thinking about it, he is really interested in Kyoko, a feeling he had for nobody, but most probably because of the spirit. As another day has come and the three of them are on the rooftop, the topic is how Tanioka made it to the Perfectural tournament with the basketball team, and he is definitely going to the national championship in the winter, prompting Kyoko to say that she will be there next time to cheer him up. With that being said, it turns out Kyoko got approached by a lot of people to join their club activities, but for now she is trying to figure it out. For now, she is considering the athletic club, the tennis club, and the swimming club, but when it comes to Nozomi, he suggests there is nothing he is particularly interested in, until Tanioka suggests that he once said that there was a section he was interested in, and as Kyoko expresses a desire to know more about it, he ends up saying that he has an interest in the home economics department. Okay, this is a club I've never heard of, but when Kyoko heard about it, she expressed her love for home economics and suggested she might join that club. Thankfully, Nozomi's wingman is here, and suggests both of them check it out since there is no reason not to do that. Hearing that, Nozomi expresses his fear of going there, since he is really shy, but if he is going there with Kyoko, everything should be fine. Later, Kyoko found out that home economics is open for tours and suggested that both of them go on Wednesday to the cooking club. And as they speak, a loud noise is coming from the cooking club. Curious to see what is going on, they go in there, inspecting what is happening and seeing a girl boiling some brown liquid. It turns out she was trying to melt some chocolate in hot water and ended up creating that mess. But thankfully, Kyoko managed to show up on time and reduce the damage before anything more dangerous could have happened. A moment later, the club president enters the room, curious who the two strangers are. And after proceeding with the introductions and finding out that Nozomi is interested in joining the club, she expresses how unusual it is and that a man who can do housework is definitely more attractive than a man who cannot do it, raising his self-confidence a little. These two girls are Kasumi, the president, and Mishiro, a second-year student. As they are already here, the president suggests they should give it a try and make some cups as a trial, and when everyone got dressed and ready for the cooking, Nozomi could not stop glancing at Kyoko, who looked so refreshing in that apron. Looking at Nozomi, who seems to be doing a good job, the president suggests he might be a good cook, complimenting him and making the other girls believe he is having a good time. But seeing the interaction between the two of them, the ghost believes Nozomi is having a way too good time with that girl. And as the president keeps on being too touchy with him, the ghost comes from behind the two, emitting a ferocious intent that gets their bodies frozen, and in the next moment, liquid is thrown all over the scene.